In the heart of Eastern Europe, there lies a land that the world has largely forgotten. A place that remains an anomaly in the world order, a country that does not exist, yet continues to persist in its own unique way. This is Transnistria, a sliver of land, wedged between Moldova and Ukraine, clinging to its Soviet past and its connection to Russia. A place where Soviet symbols still fly, and where time is frozen. A region that has declared its independence but is only recognized by one state, Russia. But Transnistria's story isn't just about survival in a post-Soviet world. It's about the future, Russia's future. To understand Transnistria's place in the world today, we must first look back to its origins. In 1990, as the Soviet Union was unraveling, Transnistria declared independence from Moldova. This was a direct response to Moldova's move toward independence and its desire to distance itself from Russian influence. In Transnistria, many of its people, ethnic Russians and Ukrainians, feared that Moldova's future would be tied to a European identity, far away from Russia's sphere of influence. This led to a short but brutal war between Moldovan forces and Transnistrian separatists. The war ended in a ceasefire, with Transnistria de facto independent, though never recognized by any international body except Russia. Today, Transnistria continues to exist as a self-declared republic. Its economy is propped up by Russia, and its politics are firmly aligned with Moscow. Transnistria is, in many ways, the last remnant of the Soviet Union. Transnistria may not have official international recognition, but it has something even more valuable: Russia's unwavering support. Russia has long viewed Transnistria as a strategic ally. It provides a buffer zone between NATO and Russian territory, especially as Ukraine's relationship with Russia has soured in recent years. And Russia's support isn't just political, it's military too. Russia has maintained peacekeeping forces in Transnistria since the 1992 conflict. Moscow also ensures that Transnistria's economy is closely linked to Russia's. Transnistria uses the ruble as its currency and relies on Russian subsidies, including energy and financial aid, to stay afloat. It's a small but significant outpost for Russia, one that offers a foothold in a region that is increasingly hostile to Russian interests. But what about the future? Can Transnistria, a state without recognition, play a larger role in the geopolitical landscape? As Russia looks to bolster its influence in Eastern Europe, particularly in the wake of the Ukrainian conflict, Transnistria could become even more important. For Moscow, the region is not just a holdover of the Soviet Union, it's a key piece in the struggle against the West. In one of my recent videos, I already talked about how Ukraine's loss in the war with Russia will affect Europe. I advise you to click on the hint above to watch this video for a full understanding of why Ukraine is so important for the West. Transnistria could be used as a launching point for Russia's broader ambitions in the region. As NATO's presence in Eastern Europe grows, and as Moldova's aspirations to join the European Union increase, Russia may see Transnistria as its last safeguard in the region. And the strategic importance of Transnistria is magnified when we consider its proximity to Ukraine and the Black Sea. If Russia continues to struggle with NATO's eastward expansion, Transnistria could become more than just a symbolic ally, it could be a military and logistical asset. In many ways, Transnistria is the last piece of the USSR, one that holds deep significance for Russia. As tensions with the West continue to rise, Transnistria could play a more active role in Russia's strategy for the future. Transnistria could serve as a rallying point for pro-Russian sentiment in the region. By maintaining strong ties to Transnistria, Russia ensures a foothold in Moldova, and by extension, in the Balkans and Eastern Europe. The region could even serve as a counterweight to the growing influence of NATO in Ukraine and Romania. As we've seen in recent years, Russia has been quick to use its influence in frozen conflicts to exert power without direct military confrontation. In Transnistria, Russia could leverage this model, strengthening its military presence, bolstering its political influence, and using economic aid as leverage, all while maintaining a veneer of deniability on the international stage. Recent events in Moldova have shown just how far Russia is willing to go to maintain influence over its neighbors, and how Transnistria plays a pivotal role in this strategy. In 2024, Russia increased its involvement in Moldova's elections, using Transnistria as a platform for its interference. With Transnistria's proximity to Moldova, Russian operatives have been able to funnel resources, information, and even personnel across the border, bypassing Moldovan authorities. This has allowed Moscow to back pro-Russian candidates and amplify disinformation campaigns. Transnistria is Russia's perfect launchpad for these operations. The region's lack of international oversight and its deep ties to Moscow make it an ideal base for launching cyber attacks, influencing public opinion, and supporting political movements that are sympathetic to Russian interests. In the 2024 elections, Moldova faced a wave of cyber attacks, designed to sway voters toward pro-Russian factions. These attacks were traced back to Transnistria, where Russian operatives took advantage of the region's unregulated space to coordinate their efforts. Moscow's goal was clear: to ensure that Moldova, a country already torn between East and West, would lean more heavily toward Russia. This is a classic example of hybrid warfare, using a combination of cyber, media, and political manipulation to influence a country's political landscape. Transnistria is key to this strategy, providing the perfect buffer zone from which Russia can carry out these operations with minimal accountability. However, the road ahead for Transnistria is not without challenges. Internally, Transnistria faces significant challenges. Its economy is fragile, and its political system is increasingly unstable. The younger generations, many of whom were born after the fall of the USSR, are seeking opportunities in the West, undermining the region's long-term viability. The region faces a demographic crisis. Young people are leaving, and the population is shrinking. This means that Transnistria, as a potential military and political ally for Russia, may not have the resources to maintain its status quo for much longer. Despite these challenges, Transnistria's future is undeniably tied to Russia's own. As the last piece of the USSR, it is a remnant of a past era, but one that could play a significant role in the future of Russia's geopolitical strategy. Whether as a military outpost, a symbol of Russian influence, or a strategic partner in a new Cold War, Transnistria's role as Russia's ally will continue to evolve. The question remains, how far will Russia go to protect this small piece of the Soviet past? And how will the world respond to the continuing existence of a country that doesn't officially exist? The future of Transnistria is uncertain, but its importance in the geopolitical struggle between Russia and the West is clearer than ever. Transnistria may be the last piece of the USSR, but it is not likely to be the last piece in Russia's puzzle.